I'm delighted to welcome Major Lil Gurung, honorary member of our club, to our meeting. Above all else, he's an excellent friend, excellent Rotarian, and obviously a retired Gurkha Major. We've all got stories that we can tell, some, not many of which we can tell in mixed company, but today we'll look forward to his talk on the collaboration between clubs, and I look forward to hearing what he's going to say. Carry on, Lil.
Thank you very much indeed. Namaste to everyone from Kathmandu. Delighted to be with you all. I think what I would like to do today is I will touch a little bit on the current monsoon weather in Nepal. Then I will go on to a little bit on the COVID and the Rotary world, that is Nepal Rotary world. Then thereafter I will go on to the projects that we have been doing since 2011. President Chris, all the past presidents, members of the council, all my friends, all the guests, and everybody who are in the Zoom meeting. I may not have met you, but I would like to say namaste and thank you for inviting me in your meeting. Great to be with you. Nepal at the moment is undergoing a monsoon season, and the monsoon lasts until about end of September. Sometime the monsoon is in moderation, but this year it has been very, very severe. We already had 2 very severe cases of monsoon. The current one has been going on since Tuesday. The prediction is it will last for another 48 hours. In our last flooding, one of the main bridge between our main supply route, basically starts in the south and ends in Kathmandu. Our supplies were actually cut off for the last 7-8 days. The Nepal army have managed to create a belly bridge, and they have now got essential supplies restored. So that is the situation in Kathmandu. If there was another 10 days or so sort of cut off, then we would have ended up without any fuel or any essential supplies in Kathmandu. But we are lucky that the route is now reconnected and the supply has begun. In the hill areas where our main projects are, there have been a lot of landslides, and overall from east to west, there has been more than 300 fatalities, and more than 600 houses have either been swept away or underwater. So the situation is pretty dire. That's the flood. Now, if I may, I would like to move on to COVID. Obviously, COVID is a worldwide phenomenon, so I need not go into detail about it. But we have had quite a lot of problem because number of reasons. One of the reasons is obviously Nepal was not prepared for anything like this. Therefore, we were caught off guard. Secondly, our 1,850 miles border in the south with India is an open border, and we have got millions and millions of migrant workers working in India. As soon as India announced the lockdown, the Nepalese migrants actually started to move from India to Nepal. Unfortunately, they came back with lots of coronavirus with them. The border area was completely overwhelmed. The police force, the border security guards, and everybody had a very, very difficult time actually stopping them or putting them into a safe place where they could be quarantined before sending them to home. But unfortunately, because of the state that we were in and the unfortunate monsoon at the same time, everybody in those particular quarantine places either became sick because of corona, or they had other illnesses related with the monsoon, such as cholera, dengue fever, and so on. So we still have got a hell of a lot of problems in the southern borders. In Kathmandu itself, we have about 50 to 60 corona cases, positive cases every day. And unfortunately, it is increasing all the time, because people were actually suffocated after 123 days of lockdown. The government opened it, eased it, because the people were just dying without food and so on. So here, Rotary District 3292, that is in Nepal district, actually tried to help with quite a lot of supplies of rations, supplies of salt, sugar, and rice to the people in the needy areas. But the demand was such that there was very little the Rotary District could do. Himalayan Gurkhas also joined the 3292, and we tried to help as much as we can. And I think the corona crisis, as you know, will continue for, I don't know how many months, maybe years. Hopefully it'll be over soon, because everybody are very, very concerned about their own health, their economic situation, their family, and so on. So it's a very, very serious case. Now, let me just move on to the projects that we have been doing. As we all know, we started our project mainly led by Harrogate Brigantes and Northallerton, and there were Gilpool's club, Joan Ogg's club, and so on. We had 8 Rotary members from your district who came to Nepal in 2011 to install IT suites in 2 schools, one in Rithapani in Pokhara, another one in Panchamol Valley. We know that this was a trial or a pilot scheme, and we also knew that if the pilot scheme failed, we wanted it to stop there, did not want to continue with it. Therefore, for Rotarians like myself and the Himalayan Gurkhas, it was a big challenge, because we wanted the projects of this type to continue in the hills of Nepal. Because with my background in the military, and especially I was a communicator, because I did my basic training in Harrogate Garrison. I don't know whether the barrack is still there. There is a building called Hilly's Line or something. Hilly's Line, I think. Yes, I used to spend my time there. Yeah. And as a communicator, when I returned back to Nepal after 46 years outside of Nepal, one of the things that I found out in the remote hill schools was they had no electricity, there was no computer, not even the teachers knew how to operate the computer. And my initial thought was, there was so many things that the village people needed, but I think I should start something new. So that is why we went for the IT suite. A lot of people in the hills never believed that it will succeed. That applies to a school in Rithapani as well, because Rithapani, that area, particular area, is the community mostly the migrant community. They shifted themselves from the hills for a better life in a plain in Pokhara. Now, therefore, it was a big challenge, and 8 members of the your clubs. John was there, and obviously John led the team to Rithapani, and Barry led the team to Panchmul. And we had about 8-9 days of, trying to know each other, trying to learn new things, and trying to understand the culture. And for me, it was not a problem because I spent a lot of time with you back in the UK. But for you guys, I know it was a challenge. Yeah. But we were so lucky that after 7-8 days of hard work, both Rithapani and Panchmul schools were up and running and operating. It was that day, on the day that we met back in Pokhara after our completion of project in Rithapani and in Panchmul. In my opinion, that was one of the most memorable day in my life, because even in the army, I never had done something like that to help the local people, especially the younger generation. So thereafter, the project was considered very, very successful. Therefore, we wanted to pursue it. Now, as you know, we are actually continuing with it. We now have got 6 high schools and 1 lower secondary school in Panchmul Valley, fully equipped with the IT suite. They are now connected with the internet. And in Rithapani, the Rithapani is fully equipped. It has been supported by John in his last visit with re-injection of money to connect the internet in Rithapani school. And also, John and the team actually led the group of people to Chitwan, where we have a college with a large college where we have a IT suite. And we also have got, it's about a 1-hour drive northeast of Pokhara, a place called Majathana. They have got a high school with more than 400 students. They also have got a very, very successful IT suite. So, so far, all the effort that you have all put in, your club, your district, and all the people who love Nepal and who have a good connection with Nepalese people, have helped us to actually computerize all these hill schools, and these people are now connected to the 21st century with the modern technology. We know there are still challenges because still people don't understand the need of the day, that they don't understand the need of the IT education to their children, because I think their day-to-day need is still hand to mouth rather than educating their children, which is very unfortunate. But we, I think, have shown them the light, and we hope they will follow this, and we hope that children of these schools will be the future of Nepal. The interesting things that come out from these projects is, while we were visiting the schools from A to B in Panchmul Valley, now we can see a job advertisement in the restaurants or coffee shops or tea shops. It says the priority 1 is you must have a basic computer knowledge to find a job in the village. So it now has become a part and parcel of life, even for the village people. There are banks, small banks actually sprouting. There are a little cooperative opening up. The IME, International Monetary Exchange offices opening up. And they are looking for somebody, employees, who can operate their computers using the internet, which is provided. So it has actually changed the whole thing into something new, which the people of the valleys and the hills never believed would be successful, would happen in their mind. But it is now, it is done, it is proven, and it can be done. Now, besides the computers in the IT streets and the internet and so on, as you know, we have had a very, very successful project, microloan schemes. Majority of the microloan schemes are all supported by District 1040, obviously your club and all the rest of the clubs who have supported us. And the 5 microloan schemes, smaller ones, they have been ongoing for the last 5-6 years now. There has been no defaulters at all until now. Although there were one or two goats were dead, and there were 1 or 2 pigs were killed. But apart from that, they all returned the money on time. We have a 12-month cycle. After 12 months, these people actually, the beneficiaries return the money back to the group leader in the village. The group leader actually informed me. I returned back to the village, and in a gathering, we hand over the money back to the new beneficiaries, back into the society again. Now, the 2 major microloan schemes, as you know, were the 2 goat farms. It was a great, great, great excitement. The goat farm 1 was visited and inaugurated by your team members, and you supported it. It was 735,000 rupees project. It was going so well that we thought within the next 3 to 4 years' time, whole valley will be sufficient for the meat products, because the nearby village is a tourism village, and they have to buy all these mutton and goat meats from Pokhara. So we thought the village will be sufficient. The entire Panchmahal Valley will be sufficient for the meat products. It was very unfortunate that the leopards have actually started attacking these goats. And leopards are protected animals, protected species in Nepal. We cannot kill them. Otherwise, I have got few Winchester shotguns with me. I would have taken care of them, but unfortunately I can't do that. Therefore, the goat farm, in the first goat farm, we have now, as I have briefed you, June last year, about just over a year now, 13 months now, we have broken down the main bank, and we now have got 4 smaller bank branches. All bank branches have got, they were given 6 goats each. That's 24 goats. And recently I received the information that each bank have given away, 1 gave away 2, the rest 3 gave away 3 goats to the villages. Therefore, it is running well, not to the expectation of our original plan, but it is still going very strong, and the village people are benefiting from it. And I will be going back to the village once I finish. Well, I'm allowed to go back, because at the moment I can't. Now, the Goat Bank 2, again, we had 4 guys who were actually running the goat banks, looking after about 5,000 goats in Saudi Arabia. And they thought, you know, instead of staying in 50 degrees Celsius heat in Saudi Arabia and looking after the goats, why not return back to Nepal? And they started goat bank for themselves. So they actually came back to Nepal. They are from Panchmahal, and they started the goat bank. They came to us for help, and obviously I asked help from you, and we received a great help. And with their money and also help from you, they started a very, very good goat farm. Joan and team and others have also visited the goat farm, the second goat farm. And the four guys were actually, they were so well prepared. They had everything in plan. The vet was already, he was already, signed the MOU to look after the goat farm whenever there was a need. They had a very nicely built goat shed. And they had a land to grow the grass for the goats, and it was all ready. And we were so enthusiastic about the whole thing. But because it is so close to the wooded area, one day when there were 70, 80 goats were actually grazing, suddenly the leopard came out of the woods and started killing the goats. And I sent the pictures to Joan. 7 goats were killed on the spot. And the goat herder, one person was there, and the person actually couldn't do anything. So ran away from it, started shouting. The village is slightly away. It's about half an hour walk uphill. So village people actually went down to help. But 7 goats were already killed. It was a very, very sad moment. And the 7 goats were killed. That is not a big problem. But the psychological effect on the person who was looking after the goat was such that the person was scared to death. He wouldn't want to look after the goats at all. So they started to think about the alternatives, and they came to us and said, what do we do? They also spent quite a lot of money because the hut, the area was all their money. We spent the money on buying the goats. So we said to them, right, okay, sell the goats and start something else, because the microloan scheme idea is to actually help the people to regenerate their living. Therefore, we advise them to actually look out for something. At the moment, they have started the buffaloes. They have got the buffaloes, and the buffaloes give quite a lot of milk. Milk is sought after, and the buffaloes actually, it is slow in giving returns, but they do give returns. Therefore, they now have got the buffaloes worth about just over 300,000 Nepalese rupees, which is the money that you have contributed for this project. Now, I'm still thinking about it because at the moment, the buffaloes are giving a good return to these guys. However, the way the goat used to support the community, the way the goat gave the returns much more frequently, the buffalo can't do it. So I'm still thinking about the ways of actually utilizing that money, because what they said is, since we have failed, we would like to return the money back to you. So they're all prepared to actually return the money back to us.
Chickens.
But what do we do with it? We want to give it back to the village, but in order to make it workable, we need to find some solution. Goat is still a very, very good project. I still consider goat as one of the best projects. In Nepalese culture, we have a caste system, and some people don't eat buffaloes, some people don't eat pig, some don't eat sheep. But goat is the only meat where everybody can eat. everybody eat it. So it is a sought after item, and it is quite expensive too. 1 kilogram cost about 1,500 rupees, which is £1. I think it's £1.
An awful big burger is that.
Yeah, £1 per kilo. But that's for Nepal is very expensive.
All right.
And that actually, the return from the goat is very, very good. So I obviously, once I return back to the village, talk to the guys, and I will come back to you for your advice, because if they allow them to continue with the buffaloes, they will want to continue with it. But if we want to go for something else, for the more benefits to the village people, then obviously I will come back to you for your advice, and I will listen to you for that.
Okay.
So now, about 4 or 5 months ago, just before COVID, I sent an email to several of my friends with a little idea of creating a Rotary garden.
Yeah.
Rotary garden in Panchamol. The idea was that we have a little Rotary garden, and we will have the names of the clubs who have supported, the names of the Rotarians and the non-Rotarians who came to visit us, and all the list of projects will be on a marble slab, and it will be in a Rotary garden. And the reason we chose Panchamol or Sirubari is because this is a village where many people from across the globe come and visit, and the garden itself is situated in such a position that as soon as you come off the bus and you start walking steps uphill, the first thing you will come across is this Rotary garden. And this is going to be a prominent place, and we would like to do the opening of that. The planning was to do the opening of that in the first week of December. And I was going to invite available members to witness the event, because it is going to be a very, very memorable event indeed. However, obviously we have to take into consideration of the current medical situation, the health situation. Therefore, we will not actually declare it now. The dates will be declared later on, as we feel that we are safe to do it. So that brings me to my short update in Nepal. I think I'm about 2 minutes over my time. My apology for that. And if you have any questions, please do ask me. If I have missed anything, because you've got veterans there sitting, trying to sort of trying to find out my mistakes, So if there are people who will probably pick me up and said, why didn't you say this? Please do say so. I'll try to answer it. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you.
Please wave your hands in the air if you have a question. John, you want to ask? Yeah.
Can I just share out the screen?
Yeah, quickly. Yeah.
Is that the site of the new garden, Lil?
It's just above it.
I just wanted to say I'd done my work, that was all.
Okay, brilliant.
Andy, unmute yourself, Andy.
There we go. Yes, leopards, do they not go for the buffalo?
No. Yeah, that's a very, the leopards are not the tigers. They are small in size. they normally attack goat, sheep, and dogs. But they also, if they're alone, they will also attack the calves, young buffaloes. But they can't attack the buffaloes.
Do they attack people, in fact?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, actually, I will tell you something. In 1986, I think I've said this to some of my friends already. During the 2 months' time between October and November, 14 children between the age of 3 and 18 were killed by a leopard. And of the 14 children, 7 were never found.
Wow.
So it's, yeah, they do attack.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Anyone else with a question?
Tom,
Tom, sorry, right, yes, Tom.
unmute yourself, Tom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Lil. Splendid overview. I was wondering
you.
where the funding for the garden might come from.
That's a good question. What I actually thought was, I have asked for help from various friends, and I actually requested Joan as well. And very kindly, Joan has sent £500 for this project.
Our club, yeah.
And I have also asked other friends. Barry has contributed. I think Charlotte Gale also contributed. Andy has promised. So basically, what I thought was, I was going to give Rotary a little present. I asked for help. If there was no help coming from anywhere, I actually decided that I will do it from my pocket, and this will be a little contribution to Rotary and to my friends. It will be a lasting legacy, and it would be a little gift from me. But I have got support from my friends, so it's going to be a joint project.
Anyone else with a question? Yes, John Ogborn. Yeah, please unmute yourself, John. John, unmute yourself. Yeah.
John, don't shoot yourself, unmute yourself.
All right. About the animals again. I take it it's not practical to fence off an area where you keep goats, keep the leopards out.
Well, the goats are. I think if I understood your question rightly, the goats love to graze outside. They do not like confinement. They want to roam around, and because they have to roam around, the chances of attack by the leopards are much more bigger. And I think there are several leopards, not just 1 or 2. There are quite a lot of leopards in Panchambol Valley. And maybe they now know that they don't have to go elsewhere to find their meat. They have got the goat farms nearby.
Don't have to go shopping.
Yeah.
Because one of the farms was established near Krishna Adhikari's place. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yes.
One.
Yeah.
Is that one still going?
That one is still going. As I've said earlier, instead of a centralized one, we have divided that into 4 smaller branches.
Yeah.
Each branches were given 6 goats. From those 6 goats, they have now returned back to the community. They have returned 3 and 2 baby goats to the community. So it is increasing again.
Yes, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there any sort of deterrent device like an ultrasound that would deter the leopards but wouldn't disturb the goats?
Where would you plug it in?
It'd be battery operated.
Where would you charge the
Yeah.
batteries?
Yeah, we
From the
thought
hydroelectric dam we're going to build.
As long as
Yeah.
you've got it through, President, that's marvellous.
Yeah, we discussed about it, Chris, and I think if we want to, we discussed about having a CCTV cameras. We discussed about some form of a alarm system, which when the leopards actually cross into it, they will trigger off the alarm and so on. But nighttime, we may be able to do it when the goats are in the cage. But when they are open during the daytime, grazing in the bushes, in the fields and so on, they cover quite a big ground. And the leopards are very, very sneaky animals. We don't know where they come from. Therefore, looking after them while the goats are out and about grazing is the main problem.
Thank you.
Right.
Anyone else have a question? If everyone's done then, John, can I ask you to give a vote of thanks, please?
It's very easy to give a vote of thanks for Lil. Lil, thank you very much for taking the time to prepare for today. From all of us, from Jill, from all our members, from John Diggles and Oggy down the bottom there, and Duncan and Tom and everybody else that's attended Nepal, where you've shown us immense hospitality, especially when the ladies came with us, Lynn and Jan as well. We've had a great time. We continue to be great friends, and I thank you for that. And thank you again for coming today and giving us.
Thank you indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Could I just add a word of thanks to Lil over the last number of years, because people got to know in our area that I had been to Nepal. That was the 2014 visit. But there were people like June in her club, Stafford Knot, who would like, I'd like to do a project like that, and Stafford Club and Stafford Castle also key, but they didn't know how to do it. But key thing was, once it was mentioned to me, I contacted Lil, and he's been a great help to us throughout. And it's because we've done 2 projects, very small ones really, with you, and we've got another under consideration. But it's been a great thing, obviously, for the projects in Nepal, but also for our joint working between the 4 local clubs in the Stafford area.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much, John, for your kind support. And obviously, please do pass on our thanks to all your club members, all 4 clubs.
Okay.
We do much appreciate. And obviously, the report for Doodh Pokhari project will be sent to you as soon as the COVID is over.
Good.
I've got a great idea. We could sell a book calling Oggy's Travels. Call it Oggy's Travels, and we could recount some of the stories about the day he beat a salesman up from 3 quid to 20 quid for a singing bowl. That was a great day. And we walked through customs with a 2-litre bottle of water while he was searching his bag. He was drinking the water, and they had to just let him through.
Yeah.
Amazing.
When we were in breakout sessions, somebody mentioned false teeth, and I recounted, when we were in Sirubari, I had this problem where I needed a receptacle to use in the night time because getting to the loo was a bit distant. So I mentioned it to Lil. Next day, there was a battered pot in the room, which I was able to use. The only problem with it was, as I was telling you, I was cleaning my teeth with bottled water above the pot. I have just a small denture, and flop, and my denture finished up in the gazunda, you know what I mean? And there were other events too.
Oh dear.
Magnificent, thank you.